Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Al Mizan Sunday. We'll open with the dua. Rabbina atina fit dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban. Ya Allah, grant us the best of this life, grant us the best of the life to come, and save us from the torment of the fire. Ameen. Welcome to Al Mizan Sunday, which occurs every fourth Sunday of the month. And it's where a sister from the WDM community delivers commentary for discussion of Quran and Sunnah, not meant for an all-female audience, but to provide a balanced perspective or interpretation and learnings of Quran and Sunnah. It's commissioned by Imam Wazir Ali of the Masjidwdm Muhammad and Masjid Al-Quran in Houston, who's very supportive and inclusive leader in our community with regards to the master program and activities led by, curated for, and organized by the women of the Master WDM community. I know I've moved to a new location, and trust that is a rarity sometimes in our community to have a leader that is very responsive to the women and allows us the space and opportunity to express ourselves and also to share our learnings and understanding of our sacred books. With that being said, conclusively, Imam Wazir has final authority with regard to our programming, our activities, our formats, our content and intent, as well as responsibility for the outcomes and possible outcomes for those created content under his leadership, and the umbrella of Master Wafidi Muhammad and Master Al-Quran. With those things being said, today I want to introduce to you our speaker. As you know, we've been having a reoccurring conversation around caring for our elders and in our community, as well as things that we need to have in place for taking care of our elders, using Quran and Sunnah as a basis. And there's various verses related to how we should do that. But in light of today's climate, today's environment, our food sourcing practices, advertisements, and pollutants, we wanted to bring in or invite a speaker to discuss things that we can do practically in our younger years to put us in the best position possible as we age. We have Sister Ameena Abdul Malik, who is a dear sister in the Houston Ummah. She's a healthcare professional. She's a mom. She's a grandmom. She's a health advocate. She has curated a wealth of knowledge as relates to not only through her career, but as it relates to personal wellness and through her personal wellness journey. So I give to you, Sister Ameena. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Welcome to Al Mizan.
Thank you. And thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Okay. I'll turn it over to you.
All right.
Okay.
I want to start by the times that I've been asked to speak, I think of Prophet Musa, and when I ask for when I think of a dua or a supplication from the Quran. In Surah Taha, verses 25 through 28, Prophet Musa prayed, "My Lord, uplift my heart for me and make my task easy, and remove the impediment from my tongue so people may understand my speech." And I ask that my intentions in speaking today would be, first, I want to share knowledge that I have learned and speak for Allah's pleasure and to please Allah. To encourage and uplift anyone, starting with me, to begin reflecting on their whole self as a whole being and make a plan to start incorporating some lifestyle choices and modifications to live to our fullest potential. I want to share some personal reflections and show how these experiences has helped me and impacted me along the way. I want to share how wellness is intentional and to share ideas on how to incorporate the concept into our daily lives in an easy manner, inshallah. Seek Allah's help in relaying the message in a clear and concise manner and ask Allah's forgiveness for any mistakes that I may make in presenting this information, and ask for Allah's blessing on whatever good will come from this information. You know, I one of the things that I saw recently, and I thought about it when I came to the preparation for the topic, is somebody said when in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s, you're living the life, and you can, not concern yourself necessarily with maintenance and so much with your diet and exercise. But at age 50, that check engine light does come on. And I would say maybe even earlier for some people who may have underlying health issues. So we have to um, be mindful of using our youth for our old age, and using that knowledge we get as a young person, such that it'll help us as we get older. Based on my experiences, there are some basics that are essential for aging well. And there's no one size fits all, and there's always room for improvement. And I'm open to learning new things and trying to improve, because we are complete people. We are not just an arm, a leg, a heart, a lung, or a brain. We are whole individuals, and we must address ourselves in a whole manner, in a whole manner, and also a holistic manner, and lives our lives in a natural, organic way to achieve the goal of being our best and best selves and our wellest selves. Lifestyle management is this type of practice. I've read along the way many a lot of from physicians, from people who are not physicians, because healthcare professionals are not always the people that have to give you knowledge along the way. There are some people who have lived well and done well and lived long. There are many approaches to this kind of lifestyle management, and uh, one of the approaches that I have had learned along the way, Dr. Dean Ornish, he has a lifestyle medicine plan, and I found it to be unique, and I like the holistic principles of the plan. There are four basic principles of the plan. It says eat well, move more, love more, and stress less. Now, eating well, Dr. Ornish encourages a plant-based way of eating that is high in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and naturally low in fat, refined carbohydrates, and sugar. In 2022, I I had some major life challenges, and I ended up initially I had to have emergency surgery for a long-standing intestinal issue I have dealt with for many years. But that was it was again a time for me to reflect about, now, okay, they did the surgery. Now, what am I going to do to make sure that I take care of myself, to make sure that I don't have a recurrence or minimize the recurrence of this condition. And then shortly uh, shortly thereafter, maybe a year or so later, I had what they call a heart attack. But I found out that I have a heart condition that I've had all my life that I was not even aware of, and it caused my heart to be enlarged in a spot. And the doctors told me that this is something you've had all your life. It's just something that came up. And so I wanted to, in my journey, I wanted to look for a cardiologist who also look at holistic principles. And started. I actually made an appointment because I worked Dr. Baxter Montgomery, and he put me on um, well, he talked to me and encouraged me. He didn't put me on my diet. He wanted to, know people. You have to be amenable to whatever suggestions people have. And he wanted me to go eat raw vegan for, he said, a minimum of 6 weeks. And so I did that, and I felt good in my, as far as my diabetic numbers, because I'm a type 2 diabetic. My mother was type 2 diabetic, and she was that skinny fat, if you know what I mean. There are people, they say they're a skinny fat, which means that they are really thin. They're active, but our genes do matter. And so my hemoglobin A1C, which is the number that shows your blood sugar control over a period of time, was the lowest it's ever been. So he wanted me to continue that lifestyle, the raw vegan. He said, I think it will be beneficial to you just to be a raw vegan. And I think it would be. I'm not negating that. However, I told him I just had to have me some cooked food from time to time. So I pretty much have, I eat, but one of the things that I learned in a vegan lifestyle, and I did not do this, and we never really discussed it, is you need B12 if you don't eat meat. And so um, didn't, um, I didn't supplement B12. So I ended up with a little deficiency in B12, um, but the source that you generally get B12 from are meat sources. However, you don't have to, you can just supplement um, B12 and through your diet. So I I then I the next but I do highly recommend that you look at the consumption of your meat, and try to do decrease the amount of meat and meat products, and look at meat. A lot of people in other cultures, they don't look at meat as a main course. They look at meat as a side dish, and that's how I look at meat as a side dish. And I try to eat raw. I try to have something raw as much as I can, and I try to eat beans and greens and other plant sources, and look at the meat as a side dish. Um, the next thing that I is move more, and they recommend 30 minutes a day of moderate cardio activity, strength training, with more, and it's associated with more vitality, while lessening anxiety and depression. And there's good research to prove that exercise helps you relieve stress, relieve anxiety, and also it's actually what they say, what's good for the heart is good for the brain, and it helps you also. So I like, when I exercise, my favorite type of if I'm doing endurance exercises, I like to get out for a good brisk walk in nature, and I don't have any ear anything where I'm listening to anything, just looking at nature, taking it all in, enjoying that. The next component of stress less, and um, stress, all of us gonna have stress. We're gonna all have stress, but we need to look at techniques to help us minimize our stress. Find the things that and it, like as I said, a one size does not fit all. Techniques such as meditation, stretching, deep breathing, uh, just things to help you get relaxed and and bring you back to center you and focus you. Yeah, if you like to go sit out on the water, or I know people that love say they feel they stressed, like they like to go fishing or whatever you find that you know that helps you in reduction of your stress. um, and love more. There's a thought that people with strong psychosocial support networks are likely to have a higher quality of life and live over longer lifespans. I think Netflix did a special some year not too long ago on the blue zones, and they were looking at the areas of the world that have long lifespans and how these people live. And one of the things that overwhelming came up, not only was that all of them weren't plant based, but most of them were plant based, or they ate mostly a plant based diet. They were very active, and they had a strong psychosocial support system. A lot of them had friends that they got together with on a regular basis, and not necessarily for an event, but just to enjoy the companionship of friends. Because as you get older and you become empty nesters, you sometimes lose that day to day interaction, a connection. So it's a good thing to have to be mindful of not being alone so much, and try to get out and involve yourself in doing activities where you are engaged with other people. And also, a good psychosocial support network, you may not necessarily talk to these people all the time, but you also, it's good to know that you have a support system that if you need to call on them, they're there. They're there for your support, and that's very helpful. Um, Now, as far as psychosocial support and the love board, for me, my belief system is extremely important, and and believing on Allah and believing what Allah says in His words in the Quran with certainty. You know, I was listening to a lecture recently, and I, even when I went to Hajj, the Imam Suleiman would say, know with certainty, pray with certainty that your prayers will be answered, and know that Allah's promise is true. Whatever is decreed is best for us. We may not see it, we may not understand it at the time, but with reflection, in inshallah, we will come to understand and accept it. I've The challenges I've had in my life, and when I had them, I didn't understand at the time. I said, "Why?" It's okay to ask, "Why is this happening?" But you think back and you reflect, and and say, "I do understand," and it's an opportunity. Take those challenges and take those challenges and put them and make them opportunities for growth and advancement. Only by Allah's grace and mercy was I able to overcome these challenges. I truly believe with certainty and acceptance, it enabled me to overcome. Because after I had the emergency surgery in 2022, it was in 2020, the surgery was 2020. It was March the 23rd, 2020. I remember the date well because my granddaughter was born March the 10th of 2020. And I was in Georgia with my daughter visiting her. And that's when I had, not only did I have the surgery there, the emergency surgery, I had to stay there for an extended period of time to heal and recover. And Sure, but I gained also an opportunity to bond with my granddaughter more, and and an opportunity to see her grow up a little bit more, because I had planned on being gone a few days after her 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 birth. And also it gave me an opportunity to get a chance to get involved in some of the things in the Atlanta masjid and the Atlanta community, and to get I got a chance to see some of the people that I went to Hajj with a little bit more. And so I made the best of it while I was there. And the and so on about but I truly believe that resilience is there's a certain thing as resilience, and resilience is defined as um, the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties, a certain toughness, the ability to spring back into shape. I look to Allah's book and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for guidance. Reading stories of the Sirah and the lives of the early companions, both male and female, are inspiring. They endured with a beautiful patience, sabran jamilan. Surah 70, which is Surah Miraj, says, "So be patient with gracious patience, sabran jamilan." Also, I like to watch some. I like to read, and I like to watch some videos. And I discovered along the way a doctor named Dr. Rana Awad, and she's a Muslim mental health professional, and she's a professor of psychiatry at Stanford University in California. And at Stanford University, they have a Muslim mental health and Islamic psychology lab. And she is the founder also of an organization called Maristad. And the mission is to offer culturally and religiously tailored mental health services. And the goal is to raise mental health awareness in the Muslim community and beyond. She did a Ramadan series on embracing resilience. Resilience uh, is, uh, is a tool that we all need to overcome, and you can find it on that whole series on YouTube. One example of the resilience is the story of Prophet Yunus. And Prophet Yunus, like Prophet Muhammad, was rejected in his early days of bringing the message to the people and warning them about their wrongdoing. They rejected him and refused to turn away from their actions. He left and walked away from his people without permission from Allah. And Allah caused a storm. And the people were afraid and started to ask for forgiveness. Meanwhile, Allah caused a storm to arise in the sea where Prophet Yunus was on a ship. After a game of draws, Prophet Yunus was thrown overboard, and Allah decreed that a giant whale swallowed him up. 3 days and nights he lay in the dark belly of the whale. Even in the darkness, there is sometimes we find ourselves in deep dark places. Even at these times, there is hope. Prophet Yunus called out, "There is no God but you. Glory to you, and I have been among the wrongdoers." He was released from the belly of the whale, where he found that the people had repented and asked for forgiveness and accepted the message of Allah's message. We are never to give up hope. Trust in Allah's plan, to strive to recognize our shortcomings and ask for forgiveness. Another lesson is to keep moving. We must be intentional and keeping active. We must plan to be active every day. There's an expression called move it or lose it. As you get older, you're not as agile as you used to be. I can't do the quickness and the endurance I had when I made maybe in my 40s or 50s. It doesn't require as we age, we listen to our bodies, but we still challenge ourselves. We don't have to have a marathon runners, but we need to be able to stay active, have some vigor, and to do whatever we can to keep moving. After 50, however, there are some elements that research has showed that we should incorporate into our exercise and fitness plan. And there are four elements: endurance, which is cardio; strength, strength, flexibility, and balance. One of the not it may not be one, but one of the highest incidences of injuries among people who are 50 or plus is falls. But we have to concentrate on on those, all four of those, in order to build our muscles. Our muscles have memory. So, but the good thing about it is, if you don't exercise for a while or you're not into exercises, you don't have to just accept it. Start where you are. There are exercises on chairs. Sit and be fit. You can there's the little bicycles that you can sit in a chair and do the bicycles. And there are many things that you can do, even if you're not able to do the vigorous activity, but do something. You don't have to necessarily go to a gym, but if you would like to go to a gym, all the better. And the strength exercises, I know that I used to love the walk, and walking was good and was great, but walking is not enough, because I use now weights, some weights. I don't do heavy weights, and um, and if you don't have weights, get a couple of soup cans and do some curls with some soup cans, and raise your arm, take them and put do them up, raise your arms above your head, and um, there are exercises you can do with even a couple of bottles of water. But strength building is important, flexibility and balance. And there are you can YouTube is a wealth of information. They have agencies like the National Institute of Aging, who has a program called Go for Life, who have 10 and 15-minute exercise videos that you can go along. And I do that with the heat in Houston. Sometimes if I'm not out about by 8, I'm not going to get out. It's hot. It's too hot for me. For other people, it may be fine, but for me, I'm too hot. And so I try to get mine in the morning. For me, that works best for me, to get it in as early as the morning. And there are resources on YouTube. The National Institute for Aging has some short videos. As I said, they're 10 or 15 minutes long, that you can incorporate all of these elements into the videos. They will do strength, they will do endurance, flexibility, and balance. And then they have some that are designed just for strength, flexibility, endurance, and balance. They don't have they you. They're also if they incorporate some endurance, but you really do need to do a little bit more endurance. So I do some walk videos because I'm not a runner. But there are lots of people in their 50s, 60s, 70s that are runners. That I just never have done that. That was not something I done. But if you're able to do that, all the better. And but you can look online for exercises for seniors. And as I said, the National Institute on Aging, Go for Life, and even the AARP website. There are many benefits to being active and exercises. And as I said, it's not all physical. Um, It's good for your brain. It's good for your circulation. It's good for your endurance, not just your endurance. It also, if you're active and you do the strength, it preserves your muscle strength. And if anybody's ever had to have a joint replacement, your muscles, especially in your knees or your hips, your muscles really are your uh, the things that's going to help your recovery. And if your muscles are weak, sometimes they will do a program called prehab, which is um, like a before. It's where they give you exercises to do to improve your strength, your endurance, your flexibility, and such that when you do have to have the surgeries, you're in better condition, because you do need these muscles in order to recover well. Also, it keeps your heart, exercise benefits your heart, it maintains a healthy body weight, and it staves off chronic diseases such as diabetes. But exercise can boost memory and thinking skills. And I just learned, you know, well, not in the last, but maybe in the last 6 months or so, that I dancing is a good form of not only exercises, but it also helps your memory, and it boosts your balance and flexibility. So if you and they, if you're a person that likes dancing, all the better. Um, uh, Exercise also stimulates physiological changes such as encouraging production of growth factors, chemical that affect the growth of new blood vessels in the brain, and even the abundance, survival, and overall health of new brain cells. Many studies have suggested that parts of the brain that control thinking or memory are larger in volume with people who exercise than people who don't. So find the things that you like to do that you can incorporate easily into your, uh, be mindful of it and incorporate that easily into your routine. Uh, uh, and they are moderate. They said mild to moderate exercise, 30 minutes, 5 times a week is recommended, or 150 minutes a week. But even if you are able to do a little bit more some days and a little bit less some days, if you can get up to that 150, you still get the benefit. So and so please, try to find a way to keep moving. Try to we also, as you age, you have to pay attention to your posture. Bring your shoulders back and pay attention to your core, your middle section, and walk in an upright, because you don't want to get into the a habit of walking with poor posture and kind of slumped over. Is it there? One exercise does not is not better or worse than another exercise. The point that I'm trying to make is to keep moving, and keep your heart pumping as best as you can. Of course, now you have if you have heart issues, you have to pay attention to that. Uh, a study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that Tai Chi showed the potential to enhance cognitive function in older adults. So your thinking, it helps with play, it helps with memory, attention, and it helps with balance, strength, and conditioning. And so Tai Chi is a martial arts. It focuses on slow, focused movements and requires learning and memorizing new skills and movement patterns. And that's challenge to the brain, which we need to challenge our brain to make sure that we stay in our brains stay active. So establishing exercise should be a habit, and just like taking a prescription medicine. Uh, the aim of exercising is to improve all of those four things that And be mindful that you're working on your endurance, strength, balance, and flexibility when you're doing it as you age. Um, and if once you start off, you're going to be tired. That's normal if you're out deconditioned. But that just stick with it. Stay with it. Stay the course. Don't walk away from it. It takes about 6 months to start reaping the benefits of the physical and the cognitive benefits of exercise. And the great thing about exercise, you start where you are. Stay encouraged where you are, and you build up your time, you build up your intensity, you build up your fitness, and you will notice that you are doing better. You know what? You will see it. You'll be more alert. You'll have more energy. You'll just feel better. And when your exercises become too easy, it's time to pick up the intensity, because the muscles build memory. So if you're doing the same 10 or 15 minutes of thing every day, and then it's kind of very easy, then you need to probably try pick up your intensity and do something that challenges you a bit more. And the beautiful thing about exercise, it does make you feel better, but it makes you also feel like you accomplished something. And that's a great feeling, to feel like you accomplished something. So some resources that I would suggest for wellness is National Institutes for Aging. They have the Go for Life. And also there's something called Aging in Place. And aging in place is, if you do the things that you need to do, you will you want to stay at home. No one uh, People want to have an opportunity to uh, live their life out at their home among their with their and they may need some assistance from loved ones, but you want to be able to be as independent as possible. And so aging in place, and if you watch your if you try to move as much as you can, you watch your diet, you get your psychosocial support, and you manage your stress, you're looking toward a holistic way such that you can age in place. As far as nutrition, there are lots of resources out there. Uh, Forks Over Knives has a Facebook and YouTube, and there's a thing called Whole Food Plant Based Cooking Show on YouTube. There's Plant Based Cooking with Jane and Ann Esselstyn. There also the Mediterranean diet has many resources out there on YouTube and Facebook, and just do some searches. Stress and mental health. As I said, Dr. Rana Awad, AWAD, has many YouTube lectures. Mara Stein has a face. I think it has a website, and then the website sometimes, and we have to determine that on our own. If we have a problem with depression and anxiety, and we do all of these things, and we still are struggling, we may need the help of a mental health professional. And so the Maristan and Khalil Center are places where you may can connect you with Muslim mental health professionals, because there's not the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam looked at mental health as a holistic way. Remember the year of sadness he had after he lost his wife Khadijah, and the think of the things that he had as a support system. He but During the Prophet Muhammad's time, he there were there's Dr. Rana Awad talked about the things that were done in that era for mental health. And the thing that involved in that is to be in a clean environment, eat good food, exercising, therapy, talk therapy, a lot of these things I didn't even know were that far back, as far as the the therapies, as far as holistic mental health, not a place to go and be filled full of. I mean, it's okay to take the medication if that's what you need, but there it needs to be other things other than medication based, and exercises resources. Um, there, like I said, exercises for seniors on YouTube, and also in Houston, there is a women only gym, and it's called Acapella Dance and Fitness. It's located on Beach Nut near Highway 6. Now they have it's a regular gym. They have the equipment there. They have the instructor. They have the classes. Now I don't go there because it's a long way from me, but I know people who go there and they really like it. Now at one time during COVID, I think they were doing some virtual, but I'm sure that if you want one of their fitness people to work with you virtually, just give them a call. But the website is adfstayfit.com. And also, yesterday I did speak with Imam Wazir about, because Dr. Imam Wazir, that nutrition is his specialty, and he said that he still does some counseling, but he would recommend people go through, if they want to see him like in an office setting, go to Pasha. Dr. Pasha's Snoring and Sinus Clinic, and he has a way to go through the clinic, because especially if you want to use insurance to see him, and I'm sure that he would see you also, if you didn't want to go, but he said he would be open to doing some nutrition counseling for those who sought it. So that's all that I have for today. I pray that what I brought to you has been some benefit for you. I know it was beneficial for me to put this short talk together, and we're always growing, we're always evolving, and be open and to the possibilities, and be mindful. Make the lifestyle modifications so it's a part of your life, and it's easy that way.
Alhamdulillah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'll bring myself back in. I was very intrigued by, especially the resources that you were giving. We did have one person ask, and I didn't write it down, so I wasn't able to pull up the resource. The name of the doctor, the organization for the psychologist.
Okay, Dr. Rana Awad, and she is there. The Stanford University has this Muslim Islamic psychology lab there, but she also has a organization called Maristan, Maristan, and there are resources within Maristan for counselors. Also, the Khalil Center, KHALIL Center, and they have resources there for mental health professionals. Also,
Yes, I put that one in the chat.
Right.
I just didn't have the Maristan.
Right. And Dr. Rana Awad does a lot of education on YouTube, and so one has to get to it. It takes mental health is one of the things that Dr. Awad said, that us as a Muslim community, we have not been as open and receptive to mental health issues as we should be, and we have mental health issues within our community as other communities too. And but the thing about Maristan and others, you want somebody that knows and appreciates you as and you're in a culturally and religiously competent way.
Right.
And this is the one of the goals of Maristan. Now, are there other mental health professionals
Right.
out there who are not Muslim that are very good? They are very good, but you just have to find them. Just by like finding your own therapist. One size does not fit all. One may be great for one person, but may not be another person's cup of tea.
Right, right. Well, alhamdulillah, we're so grateful for you and your knowledge, not only from, a professional standpoint, but from a personal standpoint, and the resources that you've used and shared with us today that can get us on our way. The key for us having this conversation was for us to start contemplating, changing certain things about our lifestyle that could lead us to
Right.
a more just a higher quality when we're aging.
Right.
And as we're older, a lot of times we expect that when we're 70 and 80, we're going to walk with a cane, and we're going to have osteoporosis, and we're going to have, all these various diseases that we see that are plaguing our community, even within the Muslim community and our community as a whole, especially African American community. We consider ourselves healthy eaters, and we don't eat a lot of fast foods and things like that. But in the society in which we live, even if you eat a whole food diet, you have to be careful about the source of food.
Well, a lot of people assume that vegan is healthy.
Right.
Everything that has vegan attached to the label is not healthy, because an Oreo is vegan.
Right.
Okay. But it's not necessarily the thing that you want to load up on.
Right.
And a lot of vegan places have a lot of fried foods.
Fried things,
and that is not healthy.
The meat replacement products that look like a chemical list. I have a chemical background. It looks like a chemical experiment. If you look up the things that are meant to replace the feel and texture of meat. And I'm thinking, I'd rather just not eat anything.
Right. One of the things that I have several things, but the learning how to saute with water, because I don't saute with oil anymore. And I don't miss it. And also, if you have something, if you get used to cutting back on fat, you can taste it when somebody's cooking with a lot of fat. You can just taste the coating of your mouth.
Right. Okay, I haven't
And,
given up the oil yet.
But there are good fats. You got avocado. There's fat. There are healthy ways, healthy fats also.
Right. The Quran itself mentions the olive and olive oil, but I know olive oil, when it's heated to certain temperatures, can become toxic. So, you have to be careful about the oil, and just do your research as it relates to specific things. And if you're making lifestyle changes, all I can say is research. I opened the Pandora's box, and you have to not only be you have to be careful just about the sources of information and try to stick to reputable sources. But a lot of it rings true. You always go back and look at some of the information. It comes down to the stress release and stress relieving, the diet that we pick, and mostly picking plant-based foods, as well as movement in our activities, even fasting. We didn't talk about fasting much today, but I know as Muslims, fasting is a part of our lifestyle. And if you look at some of these diet gurus, they talk about intermittent fasting and integrating that a couple of days a week in your lifestyle and the benefits of doing those things. So we have some of the tools in our regimen as believers and as Muslims. We just have to learn how to decipher through all of the things coming at us from the outside world. It's it's convenient. We work 8-9 hours a day, and how to manipulate or maneuver through that to a higher quality of life, higher quality products, food that we're bringing in, and how to get that activity in every day. My husband, he does laps in the living room. he's like, I'm getting my steps in, but that's how he gets his movement in. It's just, making his laps around the living room. So we really appreciate the information that you shared. Inshallah, the believers here gain some insightful knowledge, useful information that they can integrate. And us all, when we're in our 60s, 70s, 80s, live a higher quality of life where we're not so dependent upon, medications and others to take care of us. Not that that's a bad thing, but we don't want to be a burden to our families when we're older. We want to live healthy lives, full lives, where we can, do the things and participate in the activities that we, have become accustomed to. So inshallah, I want to thank you again for sharing your time and your knowledge. And inshallah, I didn't see any questions. I put up most of the comments that came in. I put them up on the screen as they were made. And then I did already share most of those resources you gave. I shared them in the comment section. So anyone watching this video in the future, they can go and check out some of those links that we put.
And one of the Imam Wazir does a really good, and I've been to a couple of times, his nutrition program he does for fasting for Ramadan.
Ramadan,
yes. It is excellent. It is excellent.
Yes. Okay, well, assalamu alaikum. I'm going to pull you out, and then I have, please stay tuned. I have a few brief announcements for the believers who are watching. Okay, for our new Muslim orientation class, it happens every Sunday, and please join Imam Elijah Salahuddin, and you can use the tinyurl.com/WDM new class to register if you would like to participate online. So it's held in person at the masjid as well as online. And for brothers, I believe they met this morning, but on every third Sunday at Fajr, the brothers will be starting the Quranic Man monthly men's discussion group. So if you're a brother or you know of a brother who may be interested in joining this group of believing brothers at Fajr on every third Sunday, please let them know this information. Next Sunday for a Taleem, Imam Wazir will be leading a Taleem on the contemporary meets classic, a discussion around Al-Fatiha. So please stay tuned for that. It includes contemporary meets classic and explores commentary of the surah through the lens of two dynamic scholars. So please stay tuned. Next Sunday, it'll be on YouTube as well as Facebook. And then finally, if you are youth between the ages of 18 and 35, or if you know youth, please let them know about the young adult retreat that is happening in October in Dallas, Texas, and they can sign up. It sounds like a great opportunity for our youth to come together and cultivate and meet and share information and knowledge. So inshallah, this is the end of our announcements. And thank you so much for joining us. Inshallah, you learned a lot, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Assalamu alaikum.